Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
We are back from outer space.
It's wine time.
It's wine night. I'm gonna log in and follow so I can see any of the questions that are popping up.
Do I get to eat this food?
Yes, that's what it's here for.
We all know I like to eat.
Love it. Hello, Rachel.
Rachel who?
Dan.
Oh.
Just people. Kristen, Kayleen,
Danny,
Becky.
Rebecca.
And good Lord, it's a
Kayleen.
party.
My goodness gracious.
It's a party for wine night. We don't even have anything in our glasses. We should just start right away.
Okay.
Well, let's just begin because Kyle and I have nothing in our glasses and this is a problem. And one of the most frequently asked questions we get is, are we already lit before we start recording this show? The answer is no. We come to you stone cold sober and drink with you, friends.
Yeah.
We get drunk right there alongside you. We don't pregame this game. We're just going for it right here with you. We're in our Easter-inspired spring fashions tonight, our little Easter plaid. So, hopefully you're enjoying the same.
Hopefully you had a socially distanced Easter.
Rachel got
festivity.
a head start, half a bottle in.
Oh, goodness.
Good for you.
Good for her.
Taught you well.
Yeah. What do we want to start with so that we can get ourselves a little something in the glasses?
Well, shall we start with a little rosé? Let's start with rosé. No?
Are we just gonna drink and then we'll go through our lessons?
Well, let's start with this. Vinho Verde. So here's what we're trying to do tonight. Lots of people are intimidated by wine. Lots of people think it's super complicated and that, don't know what to take when you get asked to go to a dinner party, don't know what to keep around in your fridge for if people drop by. So we thought we'd try to make it easy. So the first one we wanted to start with is Vinho Verde. This is just one we picked up at Trader Joe's. Super inexpensive. It's like $6. Most of them you can get very affordably like this. The great thing about this wine is it's great for all the time. It's got a little effervescence in it. So if you like a little bit of bubbles, but not don't want to go down the whole champagne road. Kyle, hold that up there so they can all see it. You'll see it's got just a little bit of bubble in it.
Can you see it? It's
You can see it when I pour.
just a little bit. It's naturally, yeah. It's naturally that way. They're not making it more that way. Now, Vinho Verde is from Portugal. Ching ching.
Ching ching. I've already spilled just a little bit. I didn't get a napkin out. Good Lord. Ching. Oh, look in the eye. Look in the eye.
Look in the eye. Not their
Sorry,
eye, my eye.
Oh, well, look in your eye too. Cheers. Woo.
Vinho. Oh my goodness, you're dripping everywhere.
I know. I'm going to get a little napkin while you talk about
Vinho Verde is from Portugal. And so the first word, vinho, is, in Portuguese it's spelled V-I-N-H-O, which if you know Spanish, that's like vinho, V-I-N-E-A-O, which is wine. It's the word for wine. And then the word verde in Portuguese, it's the same as in Spanish, means green. So they call this green wine, and you can see it's kind of, it's almost got a green tint to it. But it's really yummy. It's great with shellfish. If you like shellfish, steam up some mussels. But really, Vinho Verde goes with everything. It's just great.
It also goes at the poolside with absolutely no food at all.
Right.
Or with chips and popcorn or whatever you're snacking on. It's absolutely great. Keep it in your fridge. We always keep a bottle this time of year chilled in the fridge. It's better if you've chilled it a little.
Keep it super chilled. Yeah. Because, it's so refreshing. So this is a great brand. It's just a really easy brand to find at most wine stores. And I think, what do we pay, $6 for this today?
Yeah, they're super affordable. Everything we're showing you tonight, super duper affordable. Most of it should be really easy to find anywhere in the country at any grocery store. So Vinho Verde,
not gonna lie,
we've got a little wine chiller here. This is just one of those things you stick in the fridge or the freezer a little bit ahead of time so you can keep it out and keep it cold. If you don't have that, just use your ice bucket. Throw a little ice and cold water in there. Yeah. You don't need many ice cubes because the wine won't last that long anyway. So,
to be honest with you, we bought all of these wines just, half an hour ago?
A couple hours ago.
An hour ago. We went to Trader Joe's right down the street, and we didn't pay very much for these wines. They're all great wines. Yeah. So we'll talk about them.
They're super great. You're going to love them. I see our friend Eric has joined. Eric would never let us get by at anything without talking about rosé, which is also a seasonal favorite, but don't let anybody tell you that you can only enjoy rosé in the summertime. You can enjoy rosé year-round. It's totally fine. Rosés have come such a long way from the sweet little blush Kool-Aid wines that our grandparents used to drink. Rosé is a great wine.
Yeah, so this is an important note. Rosé and white Zinfandel are not the same thing. They're both pink.
Correct. All pink wines are not the same. Right. Not pink Moscato either. No.
But the way that rosé is made is it's not a white wine. It's actually a red wine. And what gives red wine its red color is the fact that the skin of the grapes is touching the juice for a long time. And so that moves all that color into... I see you're moving on to the rosé.
Well, while you talk.
Into the wine. So rosé is usually made with red wine grapes that are pressed, but they either just press them and don't let the skin touch the juice, and that is long enough to turn it pink, or they let it sit there in the juice for just a couple of hours, no more than a day, and that will turn it pink.
So it's made from all red grapes. They don't blend white with red to make pink or do any of that color wheel stuff. It's just red wine that doesn't get to touch the skin very long. And again, this is a super affordable one that we love. You can buy it at a lot of grocery stores. We'll put the names up online later. But honestly, you just want to look for a dry rosé. Most of them will say dry on it. If they come from anywhere in France... most of Europe are dry. Most of the California ones are going to be dry, or the West Coast ones. East Coast ones, you got to kind of wonder, you're not always going to be guaranteed that they're going to be dry. Some may be sweeter, so if you like a sweeter one, get a pink Moscato or something like that, and you'll find those sweeter ones. Sorry, we're reading comments. Hello everyone.
Hello. I saw Jen and Robin, and two interpreter friends of mine. Welcome. Thanks for joining us from far away, wherever you are at the moment. Hi, Mom. My mom's on. Karen. It's great to see our base growing.
Yes, it's fantastic.
So if you didn't catch us at the beginning, we're doing a wine show tonight. We're just doing the basics of wine. And shall we talk about the cheese board that we have in front of us first?
Yeah. Why don't we?
So, again, like I said, we went to Trader Joe's before we got started today, and we picked up 3 cheeses. If you pick up 3 cheeses, I recommend that you have one that's a soft cheese. So this is Camembert. It's similar to Brie. Oh, sorry, there you go.
There you go.
See that? So that's this one here in the wedge, in the white wedge. This is a Gouda. It's sort of a middle-of-the-road cheese from Holland. I don't like the smoked Gouda. I think it's a little overwhelming.
I like it, but
he likes it.
To have it.
But Gouda or cheddar, that's a good sort of middle of the road. And then over here we have a Manchego, which is a sheep's milk cheese from Spain, and it's very nutty. It's got yummy flavor to it.
Yeah, I mean the kind of rule of thumb is if you're going to keep 3 around, keep one soft one. It could be Brie, it could be what we've got. Get something with a little flavor like a Gouda or whatever you're into, Havarti. And then get a hard cheese. It could be cheddar, like a great Irish white cheddar or whatever. Keep them around in your fridge. Look, we're not fancy. We bought these today because we were out of cheese. But, I mean, if you come over tomorrow night to our house, if it wasn't COVID, we'd be serving what was remaining of these blocks of cheese. We don't go buy new every night just because people might pop by.
Yeah. I also want to put you in a little fun... This is my favorite part of the cheese board. These are little pickles from Trader Joe's again. They call them cornichon, and they come in a little jar. And I think at Trader Joe's they're like
They're
maybe
like $3.
$2.50, $3 for the jar. Don't buy these at any other store because they're not worth it. But if you have a Trader Joe's next to you, go buy these little pickles. They're so yummy, and they're just itty bitty. Just pop them in.
Yeah, and honestly, we buy our olives at Costco because you can get the huge things. So these are all things that we just kind of like keep around the house, and you can very easily throw a board together if people stop by at the last minute. A little hummus. We like to doll it up by just throwing a little olive oil and paprika on it. That allows you to just take it straight from the hummus container, plop it on something nicer, and not make it look like it was just a little bit of something else. Break up a little chocolate. You know, it's very easy to make one of these boards.
Yeah.
Nuts. Everybody loves nuts. You can throw on really anything you want. If you have some apples around, some fruit, wedge it up, slice it up, throw it on here too. Honey, anything you want. And we just use a cutting board that we have lying around the kitchen. So whatever you've got, you can make it work. And pairs great with wine. Half the time it becomes a meal when friends come over. You can just open up a bottle of whatever you've got chilling in the fridge and go for it.
Nice.
Want a little rosé?
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
I'm on my second glass already.
So,
Trying to catch up with all you drunks.
so I know we really didn't demonstrate this. Hello, Kyle, joining us from Iowa. We didn't really join this, but I wanted to tell you, so if you don't know, I lived in France at one point in my life. If you know me, you probably know that because
He never fails to mention it.
I mentioned it. So we're going to talk, and now I see a lot of the laughing emojis popping up. So yeah, everyone knows. Okay, we're going to give you a little bit of a French lesson tonight. In French, when we talk about tasting wine, we talk about three things. I've made cue cards tonight.
Fancy.
So I'm going to read them in French, and don't worry, we have translations here.
I made him print them in English too.
So the first one says plaisir des yeux, the second one says plaisir du nez, and the third one says plaisir de la bouche. Okay? And you can see the icons, so they kind of give you a little sense of what we're talking about here. But where's Corey's?
I'll hold up the cheat sheet for us who don't speak French.
There you go. So here's the cheat sheet. Okay, so this is what it means. The delight of the eye. So when you pour yourself some wine, and by the way, this is as much wine as you should put in a glass. Don't fill it more than a third full.
You want to fill it to the wide part of the bubble.
Yeah.
All wine glasses bubble at an appropriate point. These are white wine glasses, which we can talk about later, but you can pour white in them, rosé in them, whatever. But you just pour to the wide point.
Yeah. Okay, so first thing you do is
to be Vanna White.
delight of the eye. So you're going to take the wine in its glass, maybe tilt it to the side, and look at, if you've got a piece of white paper, this is really nice. Look at the wine through the glass toward the white paper and see if there's anything. See what color it is. See if there's any sediment in it. Just look at it. Does it look nice? Okay, so that's the first part.
It's also very fun to do with rosés because you'll get like, this is a very blushy rosé. I don't know if you can tell. Some rosés are very pink.
I don't know if the color comes out in the video, but
yeah,
this one is kind of.
All right, I'm back to Vanna Whiting it.
Okay, now we're going to delight of the nose. Okay, this is a translation of the French. Now we're going to smell it. Now, and don't feel bad about sticking your nose in the wine.
All
glass.
the way in. Stick that schnoz in there.
Take a big breath. And ask yourself, what do you smell? Do you smell some floral elements? Maybe a little lavender with this rosé. It's from the south of France where they grow lavender.
Yeah, so whatever you're drinking at home, give it a smell.
Give it a smell.
Tell us what you're smelling.
Now, the reason we didn't fill this wine glass is because we wanna swirl it a little bit, right? So put it on a table. That's kind of the easiest way to do it. Some flat surface and let it swirl around. Now smell it again. Sometimes you get a little something different.
You do.
Okay, you moved on to the third bit. We're not.
But I'd already moved on to that part.
Delight
That's
of the
my
mouth.
favorite one.
Okay, now you're actually going to taste it. You're actually going to taste
Now
it this
we're
time.
trying it. Well, I've run out, as it turns out.
Try to taste it in two waves. Wave number 1, put it toward the front of your mouth. Wave number 2, put it closer to the back of your mouth. Maybe swirl it around. See what you get. There are no right or wrong answers.
When you taste bourbon, they call that giving it the old Kentucky chew.
Yeah. And they say that women have a more refined palate, that better able to deduce the flavors in the wine. So you see a lot of women winemakers now coming about.
Yeah, a lot.
And only in recent history, believe it or not. But hey, good for them. So that's how you taste wine. That's how you pour wine. Don't over pour your glasses because
you can always refill and pour more. It looks terrible if you just fill your glass to here or you're trying to split the end of the bottle. You can always leave the bottle there and give everybody a little extra. It's all right.
And maybe you don't like what you poured, so.
Yeah, right? So give yourself a chance. So we talked about a little sparkling, keep the Vinho Verde around, the rosé. If a lot of people ask, like, if I'm going to keep, like, some wine around my house, what should it be? If, like, these two are total classic, total crowd pleasers, you'll be fine every time. If you want to have some single varietals, which means smushed from only one type of grape, then for the white side, for the chilled wines, we would suggest a Pinot Grigio. This is, again, just one we picked up today. I don't know if you can see it very well, but we'll post them online. Pinot Grigio is a great crowd-pleasing white wine. Have it chilled. It's a little on the sweet side most of the time. Not like sweet in a cloying honey way, but just like has that hint of melon. And then the other one that we would suggest keeping around is Sauvignon Blanc. It is my favorite summer wine. Sauvignon Blanc is like tart, citrus. You always get green apple. You always get like lemon zest. It is a great wine for keeping around. So those are the kind of whites in the wheelhouse that we would keep around. The other question we get all the time.
Just a second. Hello, Juan and Will from DC. And hello, Grandma. My grandmother is joining us right now. It's great to see
Eloise.
you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, so I was going to say the
We're
other
gonna move
question.
over to the Reds?
Yeah, the other question we get all the time is, like, if I get invited to dinner, what should I take? And especially if you don't know wine. Well, we've got two suggestions for you. They're also great wines just to keep around. Both blends. I'll let Kyle talk more about them.
Okay, so you see we have another wine glass here, and we're just going to talk about this briefly. Generally, you serve red wines in a bigger glass. That whole swirling thing we did earlier, that's going to bring out more in a red wine than it is in a white wine, which is why you have the bigger glass. So again, you're not going to pour it very full, but it gives you more room to really swirl it around and get those flavors and those smells out of the wine.
The other thing it does is white wine served chilled, so if you serve it in higher volumes in a large glass like this, it will get warm faster, which you don't want to have happen, which is another reason that if you are a stemless wine glass believer, I will say they're not awful for red wine, but they're absolutely tragic for white wine, because what you don't want when you've served a wine chilled is to hold it like this or anywhere up here, because the blood and the body temperature in your hands is going to raise the temperature of the wine too quickly.
Yeah.
So
no bueno.
Especially with chilled wines, hold it by the stem. Use a stemmed wine glass because you don't want it to get warmer any faster than it has to.
Danny is living through us. He wants us to eat cheese because he doesn't have cheese right now.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
I'll eat some cheese.
Have a bite of
I'll
cheese.
eat some cheese while Kyle talks, and I'll also pour some red wine.
So here's my favorite wine. And if I haven't mentioned this yet in this episode, I used to live in France. I may have not.
We should have been playing bingo.
Okay.
Except the only block would have been I used to live in France. Anyway.
And everyone would have won. You get a baby whale and you get a baby whale. Okay. So if we can learn something from the French right now, it's that if you don't know what to bring to a dinner party, look for a Côte du Rhône. This wine is never going to go wrong with anything.
Totally true.
Anything. You can have it in the middle of the summer and it's just, a bottle that's at room temperature. It's going to be great. Somebody could serve you a nice pasta dish. It's going to be great. Somebody can serve you some steak and it'll go fine.
Pasta, pizza, it's going to be okay.
Super easy. So here's a bottle of Côte du Rhône here. Once again, we picked this up at our local Trader Joe's. This is super easy.
But you can get it anywhere. Every grocery store has it.
And if you don't know, just ask.
And it does not matter, typically it does not matter what the variety is or anything else or who the maker is. Like a Côte du Rhône is going to be great to take anywhere, and people will be impressed because, fancy French name.
Yeah, it's a fancy French name, and to be honest, it's mostly Pinot Noir.
This one's good.
It's mostly Pinot Noir, so if you like Pinot Noir, it's good. But it's I think it has a little more character than Pinot Noirs out of California. I think California Pinot Noirs can be a little fickle. and they don't really go with everything like a good cotillon does. So that's what I would stick to. Now, if you know that you're going to have a nice steak or something a little more oomph, this is a great go-to bottle. I mean, first of all, as a gift to your host or hostess,
It's just pretty.
Look at that wire mesh cage on it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful gift to bring. This is made by the Coppola family, which if you're a movie file, this is Francis Ford Coppola's family winery now. Francis Coppola Claret wine. So this one was definitely the most expensive wine that we bought tonight. $15 for the bottle. But to be honest, it's worth it.
It is. And the other great thing about this wine is that you literally will find this everywhere. This is a mass-produced wine. It is easy to get your hands on. You will find it anywhere in the country, probably even at gas stations in states that are allowed to sell wine there. And it is absolutely worth it. It's always under $20 a bottle, and it's always good. You can take it with you to any dinner party, and it will be great. And the other thing that I would note is that you might notice that everything we've opened so far tonight has screw tops. We also have some with corks, but there's an old, I don't know where this myth became a myth, that if a bottle has a screw top, that might mean it's cheap wine. It's not. You can get great wines with screw tops. Technology's come a million miles. In fact, sometimes bottles with screw tops can age longer than bottles with corks, and so don't let it get you down if it's a screw top.
Our microphone is showing. Okay, you may ask about the word for
someone call the help.
Claret. So here's my last cue card of the evening, if you're paying attention. So the top word is Bordeaux. This is obviously an area in France. To have a Bordeaux wine is like to have a champagne wine. You can't call it a champagne if it's not made in Champagne. You can't call it a Bordeaux if it's not made in Bordeaux. But Bordeaux wines are blends. They're inherently blended wines for the most part. Predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon, but then they've got Merlot and Cabernet Franc and
Petit Verdot.
Petit
There are
Verdot.
5 Bordeaux varietals.
Yeah. So they're blended.
Royal grapes.
Now, so what the English did is that they took that wine and they blended it and they call it claret. And that was their good blended red wine. And so that's the middle word, and that's what this beauty over here is called. The last word that you see is meritage. Now, it's pronounced like the English word heritage, don't put a French accent on it. The word meritage is actually a trademark word out of an association in California. And it's basically the same thing as a Bordeaux or a Claret. It's a blend of all those same grapes, and they make you pay a royalty for it. But if you see a bottle with any of these 3 designations, it's basically the same thing. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a little oomph to it. But it's
going to be a crowd pleaser, because in order to fit into any of those 3-word categories, brands, you have to have 4 of the 5 royal varietals of grape included in your wine, in your blend. And so Kyle mentioned what those are, but that means there's going to be a little something for everyone. If you're a Merlot person, there's going to be a little Merlot in it probably. If you're a Cab, it's going to be there. If you're a Petit Verdot, it's going to be there. So whatever you like, you're going to find it in one of these 3 royal blends. And so they're always great to pick up. They're always killer to take to a dinner party. And yeah.
So last thing about taking wine to a dinner party, hey, call up your host or your hostess, ask them the day before what you can bring. And it's not faux pas to say, hey, can I bring, 2 bottles of Côte du Rhône or 2 bottles of Claret? Bring 2, because if you don't drink one, then it's a great gift to leave behind. Yeah. And if you have a great night, you drink both of them. So,
right. Yeah, there's no shame in asking what's on the menu. I'd like to bring a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
A good host will be happy that you said that. And you don't need to worry if you're the host getting asked that question either and you don't know about wine. Just tell them what you're serving. Don't try to, if you don't feel comfortable, don't tell them what to bring. Just say, hey, we're having chicken cordon bleu, or hey, we're having grilled pork, or whatever. And it'll be fine.
You see, I'm actually taking my own advice now. This has some nice tobacco notes in it, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, shall we feature our favorite reference, our referral tonight?
we have a question about wine glasses. Lenchen asks if it's faux pas to serve wine in anything but a clear glass. I would say if you're having a nice dinner, I don't know if you agree, but if you're having a nice dinner or hosting a nice cocktail party, a clear glass is always the way to go. It's the classic glass. Yes, these like colorful goblets are very trendy right now, and they're totally cool. If you're doing a wedding and it's a thing and you're having all these colorful goblets, they totally fit the theme, and that's great. And probably in that situation, a big party, people aren't like swirling and looking for legs and smelling and doing whatever, so it's fine. But we always serve in clear glasses.
Yeah. Legs are not a thing, by the way, so don't look for them.
But people do, and people smell corks. Also, smelling corks is really not worth it.
Oh, smelling corks is a thing.
Yeah, but I don't think it really tells you much about the wine.
It'll tell you if it's bad. You'll know
Well,
if
it
it's
will
bad.
tell you if it's bad. That's true.
No, it doesn't tell you anything other than that it's bad, if it is bad.
Yeah, but you'll at least know if it's good or bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So, we normally feature a local winery at the end of every show, but since we talked all about wine tonight and great wines, we decided that instead we would feature a fellow blogger / online food person. And we want to give a shout out tonight to our friend Sarah. If you think our charcuterie board looks good, hers would put this to dying shame, and she would do it in like 5 minutes just coming out of like the shower. She's amazing. She has a blog. You can follow her on Instagram, 30-minute foodie, 30-minute foodie. It's amazing. She'll give you killer recipes that you can make in 30 minutes, you guessed it, or less. And they're awesome. Like desserts, charcuterie boards, like meals. It's amazing.
Yep.
You will be so inspired and instantly jealous, but she makes it super easy. And hopefully, like we did with wine tonight, it's stuff that you can absolutely like just get and anyone can do. Super, super duper simple.
Yeah.
So there we are.
There we go. I guess we're having a cheese board for dinner time.
We will be back Thursday night, FYI. If you are a beer drinker, believe it or not, there are a number of cocktails that can be made with beer. There are also 100 other things you can do with beer than just drink it as it is. So we will be around for beer night on Thursday night. We will put a little shopping list out tomorrow in advance. So if you want to like cocktail make beer with us, you can do it. But it's going to be really fun, super awesome. And if you have questions or suggestions for what you would like to see going forward, let us know. Because who knows? You know? Everything so far has been suggested by someone. God, I have the hiccups. I need to drink more wine.
Yeah, and share our videos with your friends.
Or just share them with us.
Nothing in it for us. And we're honestly not getting paid anything for this shit. So.
But I told him, I honestly actually had a conversation with him earlier tonight, and I said, don't swear.
Oops.
On here. And then what did he do right there?
It's
probably because he used to live in France. I don't know if any of you knew that.
I used to live in France.
What? Who?
I didn't know that.
I'm shocked. Well, friends, thank you.
Thank you.
And another lovely evening drinking with you. There's no one else we'd rather drink with.
Yeah.
But all of you, you're the best. We just love you.
Well,
gosh, we have nothing to cheers with. Pour yourself a little more so we can go out in style and cheers with everyone.
Remember,
the public.
Something in your glass. Cheers with your eyes connected. And we'll say, santé, and until next time.
Salud.
Bye-bye.
Slancha. Cheers, farewell. Arrivederci. Auf Wiedersehen. Adu, adu, adu.